Let's keep it PG rated. We're going on YouTube.
The dedication sign.
All right, Agapios, let's see. Oh, there you go.
How's your Greek, Lou?
I went to 5 years of Greek school. Okay, let me see here. Forget it. Can you read it for us?
Okay, so I'm going to translate on the fly.
Yes.
It says Troodos Observatory in Agridia. Agridia is the local town. Realized under the project Stargazing and Natural Environment Alternative Development Products to promote Eastern Mediterranean geoparks. That's why it's called GeoStars here. Cooperation between Greece and Cyprus, 2014 to 2020, co-founded by the European Union, National Resources of Greece and Cyprus. Works began in 2021 under the presidency of our then president, Nikos Anastasiadis, completed in 2024 by the current president, Nikos Christodoulidis, budget 1.7 million, and inaugurated by His Excellency the President, Mr. Nikos Christodoulidis, on Sunday, 19th May.
So when I was reading online, it said the total cost was 2.6 million euros or something. Did you guys go over budget?
No, actually, that's 1.7 for the observatory. I don't know if 2.8 was for the entire project, because this observatory is part of a project that also has a planetarium in Crete, and some other facilities that have to do with stargazing in Greece and Cyprus. So maybe that's the 2.8. But for this observatory, for the building, the equipment, everything, it was 1.7.
Wow. Wait a minute, you're muted, I can't hear you. We can't hear you, Agapios.
Hmm?
Hey, Wayne.
Yeah.
Agapios, you there?
Yep.
Yeah, I can hear him.
Okay, now you go. There you go.
Yeah.
Can I ask everybody else to mute their microphones?
I'm ready when you are, guys.
Okay. I think we're all set. Go ahead.
Right.
Now we're broadcasting live on YouTube and everybody's muted, so we should be good.
Okay. Should I go straight ahead? Do you want to do like a small introduction, or should I just jump
It's
in?
your show, Agapios. You promote your this is you
Right.
work on this.
Right. Okay. So first of all, I'd like to say hello, everybody. It's really great to be back, and really a pleasure to see all you guys. And I want to thank Lou for making this possible. Just to paint the picture a little bit, it's currently 11 at night, and I'm all alone in the observatory, and I've got the whole thing to myself. So I would like to ask you to join me for a quick tour of Cyprus's first and only National Observatory. So here we are inside the building. I don't know if we can show some photos first. Can we do the photos, Lou?
Yes.
Okay.
One moment.
Let me just.
I have to share my screen.
Yeah.
Just give me a moment here. Okay,
There we go. Can we just flip through to one that shows the whole building, just so that I can go over some of the details a little bit? There you go. There you go. Okay.
this one?
So yeah, let's go to one of the previous ones, one that shows the whole building on the mountain.
That one?
Yeah, there we go.
Or
Okay,
that one?
so that's fine. That's a great one. Okay, so here we are on the southeastern slope of Mount Troodos, which is the largest mountain on the island of Cyprus. The actual location of the observatory is right next to a village called Agridia, which has a population of, I think, about 100, 120 permanent residents. So it's a small village. So the observatory it doesn't really suffer from light pollution. We're on top of a mountain at 1,250 meters above sea level, which is about 47,000 feet, 4,700 feet, I think, somewhere there. And being on the southeastern slope of Troodos, from the observatory, we can see all the way down to the Mediterranean Sea. So on a clear day, the view looking down to Limassol Bay is just breathtaking. And obviously, being up on the mountain, away from light pollution, the night sky views are, as you would expect, brilliant. So the observatory is the result of about 8 to 10 years of collective work from a very large group of capable professional people who all shared their love for the island, for the mountain, Troodos, and for nature in the night sky. And coming into this group a little bit later on, I have to say that and to quote one of the associates on the team, if one of us was not a part of it, we wouldn't have been able to put this together and be able to share it with the locals and the public in general. So the original design of the building, the architectural design, the credit for that goes to Solakis Architects, which is an architectural firm here in Cyprus. It's a family firm. So the head architect, Elena Solakis, is a visionary, and she and her brother and sister came up with this brilliant design, largely inspired by sci-fi and Star Wars in general. You'll notice that the building resembles a Star Destroyer. And if you look closely, the entire building is dressed in a really sci-fi looking reflective mirror skin. So the vision behind that was they wanted to create something that had no frame of reference, nothing to relate it to anything that's been done on the island ever before. So something completely different to anything that's ever been built, and looking just as alien as possible, and being reflective. It almost under the right kind of light and the right kind of angle, it sort of disappears. So you're left with just the natural landscape and the beautiful night sky. And just to go over a little bit of some details about the building, it's a relatively small building. It can house, it's about 350 square meters. I don't know exactly how you translate that to square feet. It can easily accommodate small to medium groups. We estimate that it can quite comfortably hold about 60 to 80 people at a time. And it features the main attraction, of course, the actual observatory dome, a sliding roof with a secondary telescope, and a spectacular veranda you can see one of them. There's two of them. The small one that looks down to the Limassol Bay, which is the one you can see on the picture here, just below the dome, kind of extending off to the side. Yep. That's kind of like our own little mini skywalk. And on the left side of the building, towards the wedge shape, there's a spectacular deck veranda from where visitors or amateur astronomers can set up their own equipment to take advantage of the night sky. If we can flip through some of the photos, I can just quickly go over there. You can see the reflective skin in these photos, and you can also see the extruding skywalk and the large veranda, which we call Astromarina, because we wanted it to, be a place where visiting amateurs can dock their telescopes in the same sense that you would dock your boat in a marina. So we called it an Astromarina. If you can go back to the previous photo, you can see it right there. So that whole area is accessible with PowerPoints, so with electricity plugs, so the visitors can come in and set up their own telescope and plug in and just take advantage of the night sky. And you can also see the sliding roof open in that photo. We're going to go up later on and I'll show you everything in detail. If you can just flip through, there's another thing I wanted to show you. There's another view of the marina. So that's the main feature of the observatory. We've got a beautiful 20-inch plane wave CDK astrograph on a Paramount ME2. Currently, we use the telescope visually for, schools and groups and people coming in and just doing visual observing. But we do plan on upgrading everything and getting a nice astrophotography package for this telescope, so we can, do some more advanced work with it, gather some data, do some imaging with it, and just extend its capability. If we can go, okay, so that's our solar telescope. So under the sliding roof part, we've got a 4-inch Lunt double-stacked solar telescope, which we use for solar viewing. I don't know if you've ever looked through a double-stacked 4-inch solar scope. It's just spectacular. And another thing I'd like to note is that we've made the foundations for both telescopes not only interchangeable, but also future-proof. So we overdid it quite a lot so that we could have more flexibility in the future and maybe be able to, swap out the big telescope from one room into the other one and put a bigger telescope in the main dome, or just to give us more future-proofing. Let's just have a quick look at.
I'm sorry, Agapios, can you say that again about the future-proofing?
Yeah. So each telescope has its own foundation, as you would do on any observatory. But the way we designed it is that we've got oversized foundations so that we can accommodate even larger telescopes on both telescope points. So we've got one point for the main telescope, so there's one foundation for that, and there's another for the solar scope, which is the same as the other one. So we can interchange telescopes at any time. We can take out the solar scope and install the 20-inch on that foundation and put in a bigger telescope in the main foundation where the 20-inch was for the future. It's got a big plan.
You have room for any extra piers or just the 2 piers?
2 piers for now, but the whole building is so over-engineered that if we wanted to, we could easily put piers on the Astromarina permanently and use it like that with some kind of covering. It's just way over-engineered.
That's awesome.
So that's a view of our main telescope in the dome. That was during first light. Just taking a quick look on the moon. And let's just, again, during first light, somebody observing. That's me when we were doing the installation of the telescope. Had to use a crane to lift the optical tube and set it in place. We had to take it up 3 stories and in through the dome slit. It was quite an experience, I can tell you that. Not one that I want to repeat anytime soon. Really stressful, but everything went smoothly. Had a great team with me that day, and we were able to, make everything work as it should. That's the building before the skin was put on. You can see the shape, and the dome is in place. Let me just quickly mention the dome is built by an Italian firm, Gambado. These guys have been making domes for quite a lot of years, something I think like maybe 50 years. And they've made domes for observatories and research foundations and all kinds of things. So it's a 5.6 meter dome, 18 something feet in diameter. It weighs something like 2.5 tons. And it's fully automated, and it also features that beautiful metallic mirror finish, highly reflective finish. It's just a jewel on its own. So shall I give you a tour, sort of a walkthrough of the whole observatory? Okay. So I wanted to tell you about this. So this is me, obviously, and picture this. I'm on a railing on the 3rd floor. So that's about how many feet that is? That's about 10 meters, so about 30 feet off the ground on the top of the mountain on a railing. And this was before we finished pouring the concrete for the big pier. And I came up here at 4 a.m., climbed the railing with my little headlamp all the way up those 30 feet on the railing in the middle of the night, because I wanted to be absolutely sure that I would put the base plate for the mount precisely in place. So I wanted to be absolutely sure I wasn't taking any chances. So you can imagine that was another terrifying experience. I really don't want to repeat.
Are you scared of heights?
No, not anymore. Not anymore, I can tell you that. Yeah, so that's 4 a.m. in this photo, and you can see Polaris on the top there, and that's the base plate for the pier being put precisely in place. And it actually worked a treat, because even without doing any kind of polar alignment or anything on the telescope, I can verify that it tracks just beautifully. So I'd like to pat myself on the back for that one.
Wow. Talk about polar alignment, huh?
Yeah, no chances.
Yeah, that would have been a big snafu.
Yeah, no, I couldn't, I couldn't keep it in my conscience. I wanted to be absolutely sure. So I got out of bed at 3 a.m., 2:30 a.m., whatever. I drove up here an hour and a half in the middle of the night, and, put on my little headlamp and climb the railing, and just wanted to be absolutely sure. And it worked. So I'd like to give you a bit of a walkthrough.
Okay.
So you can just switch to my camera now. Okay, there we go. So I'm in the ground floor now, and you can see behind me. So this is what you would see coming in from the main entrance. And that obviously is the main telescope foundation column that goes down to about 2 meters below where we are now. And there's a huge independent foundation for this pier. And this goes through all the levels, all the way up to the main telescope. So this is the lobby here. Visitors would come in from this big door here, sliding door. And we've got our reception here. And through this window, which you can't see right now, You could see all the way down to Limassol Bay, and that's the stairs going up to the other floor. But I wanted to show you what we've got here. We've got our office here. You'll notice that the whole interior of the building is dressed in this beautiful wooden finish, this plywood. And coming down here, we have I don't know how well you can see that. So we've got this big circular room, which we plan to use for presentations and gatherings and maybe conferences, or maybe even turn it into a small planetarium for kids. And going back up, I would go up to the first floor. So this is a little bit on the fly, excuse me, but I think it's the best way to give you, nice overview of the observatory. So I'm up on the first floor now, and I'm gonna go to the solar telescope, which is here. So the solar telescope is our Lund LS100 on a AZEQ6. We've got this nice little podium here that you can step up onto and go take a look at the telescope. And it's under our sliding roof. I'm gonna try and close the roof just to show you how it works. The roof again was designed and built by Ambado. There we go. Takes about 2 minutes for the whole thing to close. It's hydraulic, electro-hydraulic, and it follows the slope of the building. And it's also dressed in that beautiful mirror finish. So coming up here during the day, obviously you can have a brilliant look at the sun through this telescope. But in the future, we could use this space as a secondary stargazing telescope. Maybe install something else, or if we or when we upgrade the big telescope to something even bigger, we can bring that telescope here and use it as an additional stargazing telescope. And out there here's the Astro Marina. So this is a place where visiting amateurs can come up and set up their telescopes. You can see the plugs there. So we've got 10 amps of electricity for each plug, so people can bring their whole astrophotography equipment and just plug in and enjoy the beautiful night sky from up here.
Agapios, the solar scope, is it only for visual use, or is it for photography as well?
We can do either. It's on the AZEQ6. It's polar aligned, so you just swap out the eyepiece for a camera, and you can just go ahead and do your imaging. You can see now the roof is closed, and you can see it. You can see it reflecting. Right.
Like you're not going to be cleaning that every night, right, with Windex?
I hope not. So we've got our it's sort of like an RV table. Let me just. So you're gonna love this. So we've got our own little kitchenette there.
Oh, nice. You can lift.
So when you guys come down, drinks for everybody. a computer station. That's another look at the solar telescope. And let's go now to the main attraction. So coming out here, this is the suspended skywalk. I know it's pitch black, but maybe you can pick out some of the village lights and not much else. It's pretty much dark up here. The moon's going to come up from somewhere there in a bit. And let me take you in the main dome. So now we're in the main dome on the first floor, and we've got our office station here, and there's the pier going up. So the whole building is accessible by disabled. So we've got a chairlift here for people coming up and going up the winding stairs to the main attraction. So now we are in the dome. Light's a little poor for this sort of thing, but I'll see how we can. There we are. That's our telescope there, the 20-inch on the paramount. So the dome it's got this beautiful anti-reflective matte black finish on the inside. So it's when all the lights are off, it really is pitch dark in here. And computers and some stuff there. And that's it. That's pretty much it.
How much weight can that pier hold? So if you wanted to upgrade your telescope, what would be the next?
So we've estimated that we can put anything up to a 28-inch 28-inch telescope, maybe even a larger one. But you know, the dome, the dome slit is 1.6 meters, and the telescope is half a meter in diameter. So if we wanted to, we could put a much bigger telescope here. But you know, that's for the future.
No,
you know, just being able to, you have to remember that this observatory is the first of its kind for Cyprus. To be able to have a facility like this is, you know, it's been a long time coming, and it's been a dream for not just me, but for many people. And what we want to do is we want to make the most of it and bring people up here, get the schools up here, and just introduce people, not just the locals, but maybe even tourists or whatever, anybody who's keen on coming up here to the beauty of the Cyprus night sky. Because you know, it's a beautiful thing to be able to come up to a location like this with dark skies and come up here and use an instrument like this and just explore the wonder of the night sky. So yeah, we're hoping that this will work as a breeding ground for future, not just astronomers, but for future people who are more aware of the beauty of the natural world and the night sky, and be inspired and you know, act as as an inspiration point for the next generation. Time will tell. We're going to do the best we can, and yeah. And then I'm extending an open invitation to all of you to come visit us here in Cyprus, and I'll personally give you a tour in the flesh.
So, Agapios, are you able to live stream tonight for us?
Yes, I am. You will have to excuse me for a little bit because I have to switch to that computer, which is connected. I've got a camera hooked up onto the telescope. But you will have to excuse me for a few minutes to get everything going there. I'm going to log out of this one and log in through the other computer, and try and give you at least some kind of a live stream. Well, what we could see, I could try and well, the moon is just rising now. I don't know if you can see it. There it is. It's just rising over the dome, so it's going to be at least half an hour before we can see the moon through the telescope. But I could try and show you. I've got the telescope near Vega, so I could try and show you the Ring Nebula.
Oh yeah, that'd be great.
Nearby. But I kindly ask that you afford me a few minutes to get everything going, and I'll log back in. Unless there's anybody who has a question or anything about the observatory so far, I'd love to go into that now. Maybe to give some time to the moon.
How about so if any one of us, is this open to anyone to connect to? Are you selling time on the observatory if somebody wanted to use it remotely?
Not currently, but in the very near future, we're going to upgrade the telescope with a state-of-the-art astrophotography package, so we could do that. Currently, the telescope is only equipped visually, so it's for a physical observer to come up here and look through. For this occasion, for tonight, I've got my own camera plugged in. And in the near future, we plan to get a really good camera for it, and fine tune everything on the telescope to be able to offer time on it. But that's for the very near future.
Awesome. Does anybody else have any questions for Agapios?
Yeah, Lou, I have one, Sandy. On Cyprus, is there a good lighting ordinance to try to keep the skies dark?
That's an excellent question. So there's two things happening in Cyprus. One, picture in your mind, if you will, that Cyprus is a relatively small island, not too small. It's about 225 kilometers by 90 kilometers. So it's sizable, but it's got 5, 6 evenly spaced out large urban centers. So we've got 5 or 6 large cities, terribly light polluted. But thankfully, we've got the mountain, Mount Troodos, which the peak is something like 6,000 feet. It's got a lot of elevated plateaus. So there's lots of places where you could come up and enjoy a properly dark night sky. And the other thing, the climate here is such that you've got access to this sky at any time of the year. And I'm not exaggerating when I say that. Let me rephrase it. We recently launched another remote observatory just last year on the other side of the mountain where we are now. And we stopped counting the number of clear nights because there's no point. It's been clear every night, non-stop, since early March.
Everybody
Non-stop.
hates you. Everybody here hates you now.
Sorry, but it's the truth. So going back to my previous point, Cyprus is a place which I call the astronomer's paradise, because it's a relatively small island. You can be anywhere on the island within an hour and a half, and you can have access to incredible dark skies year round, no exaggerating whatsoever. So even if we have, light pollution is everywhere. Even if we have some light pollution from the cities, you can still get to fairly dark places quickly and easily. The other thing that's been happening is we've recently completed another project that had to do with astrotourism. And as part of that, we did an extended survey of the island to document light pollution. And we've also initiated processes with the International Dark Sky Association to get certifications for some areas of the island to be protected under the night sky reserve. So that's coming really soon. I'm hoping that within the year, we're going to have our first proper International Dark Sky Association certified dark sky park. And we're slowly trying, through a combined effort of many different people, we're trying to educate the people here as to what is the night sky and how beautiful it is, and how beautiful the night sky from Cyprus is, and why we should protect it and cherish it and do our best to promote it. So I think we're getting somewhere with that. We've recently also managed to secure a procedure where when the current time frame of having to change the newly installed LED streetlights comes up, which is in about 6 years, when they come to their end of life, we've secured a process with which the authority that's in charge of installing the streetlights, which is the local electricity authority, is gonna come to us and agree on mutually accepted terms when it comes to the types of lights and their performance and their brightness and their design, so that we can ensure that we don't add more light pollution. We're going to try and reduce it and maybe bring it back to where it was before the newer LED type lights went in, which as far as I know, they have been a real pain to all astronomers worldwide. I'm sure you would agree.
Yeah, you really can't filter them out.
No, you can't, and they are too efficient. Too efficient. They, for a little island like Cyprus, they were just a knife in the heart. But yeah, we're doing our best. We're trying.
Say, Agapios, what's the latitude, longitude of the observatory?
Let me see if I remember exactly. Oh, wait, I can tell you that. I'm on the computer here. So we're 34 degrees north in latitude, and we are 33 degrees in longitude east. So that's, if you want the precise number, that's 34 degrees, 55 minutes, 34.3 seconds north. And longitude is 32 degrees, 59 minutes, 57.8 seconds east. And we're 1,234 meters altitude, which is about 47,000 feet.
100 feet. 1,000 is where the planes fly. So, Agapios, what kind of organization do you have over there in Cyprus? Like, here in, as far as the astronomy clubs are concerned, like here in the States, we have about 330 clubs that are all part of the Astronomical League. Do you have anything similar in Europe that you guys are a part of, or in Cyprus?
Yeah, so we've recently founded, let me just show you the telescope there as well. Okay, so we've recently founded an Astronomy and Space Association. We called it Orion, and we've managed to get almost everybody who's into who's active in the field of astronomy outreach, or education, or science education, or anything relevant. We managed to get most of them signed up into this association, with the aim of not controlling, but with the aim of having an umbrella operation, much like the Astronomical League, to provide direction and maybe even facilitate, other situations like sponsorships, or just have some kind of a mutual direction, whilst maintaining the individuality of every single one of the participating astronomy clubs or individuals. Because Cyprus, even though we're a small island, we have quite an active core of astronomy and outreach and science education clubs or organizations. So we've got schools with their own astronomy clubs. We've got local astronomy clubs. Every town, every city has their own, and they can be really active. And we've got larger structures like the National Observatory, and all kinds of other things. And what we wanted to do was just create some kind of an umbrella organization, just to give direction to everybody, and that's what we did. And I'm hoping that in the very near future we're also going to incorporate everybody. So it's important to mention that, sorry, they're just coming to me as we go. It's important to mention that in the past year, we've also had our first planetarium, which also has a small observatory in it. So we inaugurated last June, our state-of-the-art planetarium with a 60-foot dome screen, 180 people capacity, and also that also has its own dome with observatory in it as well. And that's been running for a year now, and it's been doing really, really well. Schools and everybody just visiting it, it's brilliant. And we've also, in late summer, we've also inaugurated our first proper stargazing site. So about 20 minutes from here up the mountain, we have our first astro park, as we call it, which is an old site that I used to go there, 20 years ago, when it was just 4 or 5 people here doing astronomy. It's about the size of a football field, and we converted that into a stargazing park. So you can go there, you can park your car, you can spend the night. There's facilities, and there's a beautiful amphitheater style part of it where you can set up your telescope and just lay back and enjoy the beautiful night sky. And that's also been inaugurated just this past summer. We've also just completed the astrotourism program that I mentioned before, which was an attempt to introduce the concept of astrotourism in Cyprus, and also, and perhaps more importantly, it acted as a facilitator for us to introduce the concept of light pollution in Cyprus to the authorities and everybody. So that was another just
huge project that was just completed. And now this thing, the National Observatory that we're currently in. So it's been a really busy year and a half. Lots of sleepless nights, lots of trips up and down the mountain, lots of installations. And now that I said installations, and we just launched our remote observatory on the other side of the mountain in a dark valley. That's also been doing really well. Spiga, you can go to our website, which is www.cosmos.cy/Spiga, like the star, and you can just log in and check out what we've got going on there with in terms of remote astrophotography from Cyprus.
Would you be able
Which
to
is
type
what-
that into the chat when you log into the other computer? So that-
Yeah. I can do that. Yeah, I can do that. And
okay.
I think I can also log in from that computer. I can log into the remote observatory and show you what's been going on, because I know the telescopes are running. So I can log into one of the telescopes and we can maybe snoop in and see what's been captured.
Agapios, as far as the organization that you guys have, and you're starting to put everything together, it's helping you with obviously with light pollution, which is one of the biggest things we have to contend with. But all of us here in this room share the same interest, and collectively we have a huge body of knowledge when it comes to astronomy. I mean, every one of us brings something to the table here. And I'm wondering if there's something we can do to somehow network, the group over there in Cyprus with, the groups we have over here, and maybe have a joint projects. I had mentioned one before to you, something simple, like we can come up with a project to measure the parallax between our two sites. But like you were mentioning before about, this is a great place for students, to tour the observatory, who, people may not necessarily be astronomers, but it's important for people to be aware. Like, for example, everybody remembers a few weeks ago when the aurora went crazy, and it went all the way
We
down.
even got it here.
Yeah, down to the equator. Now, if that was just a little bit shifted a little bit the wrong way or a little bit stronger, we could have all been in big trouble. And everybody, who saw it may not have necessarily understood the implications. Like, oh wow, that's awesome, beautiful. Okay, great. But I mean, if you're all familiar with the Carrington event that happened 165 years ago, when technology was limited to telegraph wires, it affected that then. Can you imagine now what would happen to the power grid? If everything else.
I'm sure there's a lot of things that we can do with the recent developments here in Cyprus. All the facilities, all the projects. We could definitely. I can tell you with 1,000% certainty. I speak for everybody here when I say that we're willing and able to participate in any mutual project that we can do, whether that's something scientific or something that has to do with outreach or light pollution awareness or dark sky protection. More than willing and able to do that.
Fantastic. So we need to, all of us, we need to get a little organized here between all our clubs, and maybe we can come up with some kind of common curriculum or goal. We can start small and then see how it goes.
Yeah.
But thank you for this opportunity, Agapios. We're all very grateful. This is an amazing observatory. And that, besides being grateful, I'm sure we're all very jealous.
And now thank you guys, because I feel like Cyprus is sort of a newcomer to the astronomy scene, and all of us here we're just trying to do right by what we've got. We've got a beautiful piece of nature here, and an incredible dark sky. And speaking personally, I wish there was a way that every single one of you could be here. I would personally take you up to the forest and show you just how beautiful it is. And even if it's not we're not the Atacama Desert, we're not the Outback, we're not Texas. We're a small island, but we've got a unique vantage point and a beautiful landscape and just incredible weather. So we can do astronomy anytime. And I'm not trying to get you to hate me. I'm just stating the truth. It's the truth.
We're jealous.
Okay, so the moon is up. So I'm gonna log out from this and log in from the other computer. So excuse me for a few minutes, and I'm gonna come back with live views of the moon.
As you're flipping over, I'm gonna share a screen of the Cyprus and the night sky, light pollution, so people can get a sense of where populated areas are. Okay, we'll see you in a few minutes.
Okay.
All right. Okay, can everybody see that?
Yes.
All right, so the observatory he was
It's
at.
a little blurry. Oh,
May I come in a little clearer? Maybe if I make it smaller.
actually, bring it in a little bit more, a little closer. There, I can see it better now.
Okay. The observatory is right in this area here where he's at. And the other one he was talking about, I think, is up here somewhere, that he's going to log in remotely. But this is where I think he lives, right around here. But you could see, like, they're part of the interior. It's far away from the cities. And not to mention the difference between, this site here and any site that's surrounding us so close to metropolitan areas is, this is about a mile above sea level almost, where these are right at sea level. So that's the advantage they have. But the other advantage I want to show you guys, and you guys are going to probably hate him for this, is look at the seeing they have over there. Hold on. Look at the seeing. It's like less than a half an arc second. Is that insane? Half arc second seeing. 0.46. I mean, compare that to us. It's just crazy. But anyway.
Well, I was gonna say, Lou, that's the advantage of being, on that island, surrounded by the waters. It's like when I'm down in Chiefland, because you're close to the Gulf. The seeing down there compared to Pennsylvania, anything's better than Pennsylvania. We know that.
Yeah.
But definitely being on an island is a great advantage.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Like, doesn't Damian Peach go to Barbados all the time? And Cyprus, he does go. I think we can ask Agapios because he knows Damian. But let me stop sharing. I want to be able to see the window when Agapios logs in again, so we can let him in. So, does anybody have any questions? You're all muted, so you're going to have to unmute yourselves if you want to ask a question. Okay, I guess not. But I think it'd be pretty cool if we can have some kind of joint collaboration between you know, the astronomy clubs there in Europe and us here.
Now
Especially,
you've got a parallax thing.
yeah, I'm thinking, you know, we got to come up with something. It's just an idea that I'm kicking around that maybe we can get school students to find, you know, the distance between there are two locations using the parallax of a common object that we can both see. Like, for example, and when there's an occultation or a planet that's high enough in the sky.
There's a 7 hour difference between the two of us.
Yes.
Okay.
You know, or, you know, I guess we could start first by, I mean, the thing that's the most common is the moon. So, you know, we can look at the Terminator, and the moon's going to have to be high enough so that it's visible from both locations. And one advantage of using the moon is that it's up often. So, you know, the clouds would be less of an issue because would it be our luck that when there's an occultation, we'll be clouded out.
Right.
But, you know, at least we can keep using the moon, and then, you know, that could be constantly refined, or we can get an average. But, you know, we also have to take into account the angle. You know, the moon is above the horizon because there's the refraction aspect there. But
And we're about 5 degrees further north than he is.
yeah, we're at 40. Yeah, he's 32.
Thir-
Did he say 34 north?
34. We're 40 or
Yeah.
so.
And we're 40, right?
Okay, so about 5
Yeah.
to 6 degrees more.
Right. And not to mention the local difference in, you know, if the moon is just above the horizon, you notice it's big and orange, right? It's really not there. It's a little bit lower.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing with when the sun sets. So we have to figure out that refraction difference. And obviously it becomes smaller and smaller and smaller as it gets higher in the sky, which why the wintertime is probably the best to do something like this. And it would be ideal if we have two telescopes of the same focal length at each location.
Right.
So it's not uncommon for people to have 8-inch or 9.25-inch SCTs, you know, but we'd have to figure something out.
Now, what's the coldest it gets there?
I don't know if it ever snows, but you got to ask.
I mean, are we talking, 30s?
I doubt it snows there because look, it's surrounded by water.
Yeah, I'm thinking maybe, 40, 50 degrees lowest, maybe. I don't know.
Ask them if, well, they're
Although
all,
they are up a mile up, so, at the observatory.
yeah,
So.
everything is in centigrade. So,
Right.
So ask them if it ever gets down to 0.
That would be 32 Fahrenheit. Okay, yeah.
Yeah,
I'm guessing it's probably more in the lines of like 10
5.
to 12, 15 degrees Celsius.
Yeah. But he said all year round. So
I'm guessing it doesn't get cold there too, that cold there. So.
you know, we could plan a trip over there.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too. I'm like, I want to renew my passport real bad now.
Yeah. I mean, I may not be able to read Greek very well, but I could speak it fluently.
Okay. Hey, that's all you need, really.
But actually, you don't have to worry about it in Cyprus, though. It was a British colony. Everybody knows English.
Right. I was gonna say his English is very, very, very good. So
it's better than mine.
yeah, probably mine too. So
yeah, but if you go to Greece proper, though, they don't know English. I mean,
right.
Well,
but you can communicate though. So
I can, yeah, especially with the taxi drivers. You can't trust those guys. I can, and look, now we have Google Translate too, so it doesn't really matter where you go, right?
Well, that's true. I forget about that. So
yeah, I mean, it's easier when you have a translator, but the Cyprus looks like a really beautiful place to go, though. I mean,
Well, my wife wants to go to Greece as well, so
I mean, yes, that's another thing because my wife only belongs to the astronomy club because I belong to it, and she's like the best thing about the astronomy club is that she likes solar observing because she can do it during the daytime.
right.
She doesn't like it at night, but the trips. So we can plan a trip over to Cyprus. I'm sure she won't argue with that.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to start saving for that because those last 2 trips to Texas kind of drained me.
So I'm looking at the climate data for Prodromos, and it's saying like in January, the mean daily temperature is 43, mean daily minimum is 33 Fahrenheit.
Okay.
Where is that now? On the mountain?
Prodromos at 1380 meters above sea level
Okay.
in the Troodos Mountain. So this is
Right.
climate data for that location.
That's right. Over here somewhere. Right.
Yeah, that sounds about right for being like about
That
a
makes
mile
sense.
up, and yeah.
So the mountaintops might get snow.
Yeah,
I mean, they may get a little weather, but I'm guessing since they're an island too, that maybe not. I don't know.
But
Well,
Agapios was also mentioned.
the mean daily minimum is above 40 degrees Fahrenheit, April through November.
Yeah, it must be nice.
For sure.
And the maximum daily maximum from April through November ranges from 59 up to 82 degrees Fahrenheit.
Yeah.
That high up.
Yeah, this is at 1380 meters. This is in Prodromos. That's the town he's talking about.
Right. So he lives on the other side of the mountain. So the seeing is not a half an arc second where he lives. He deals with seeing closer to 1 arc second, which is still.
Now, what do you deal with, Lou? Where you're at right now? How many arc seconds
Well,
on
we're
the
at,
average?
we had sub arc second seeing like once in the past, I don't know, 2 years, but
Couple years, yeah.
yeah, typically we're 1.5 to 2 arc seconds.
So about two arc seconds when on a fairly decent night.
2 arc seconds is probably very common for.
Okay.
But
And he's looking at like half an arc second
yeah, on a regular basis.
on a regular basis. Yeah. You're right. We're that's jealousy, no doubt.
Yeah, let me stop. Did I stop sharing the screen here? Yeah, I did.
Is he back? Oh, he's back.
Yeah, he just came back in. Yeah.
All right,
Okay.
I'm on mute.
Can
Hold
you
on,
hear
I
me, guys?
gotta. Yeah, where is it, Agapios? Hold on, I gotta give you control, Agapios. Give me a second. Okay. Okay, Agapios, it's all yours.
All right, thanks for allowing me that
Are you kidding? Thank
sort of
you.
intermission. So I've got the telescope lined up on the moon, and I've as I said, even though the equipment is still in its visual configuration, so we've got a whole set of eyepieces and everything for the telescope. We don't have an astrophotography package for it yet, but that's coming soon. But for tonight, I brought my own camera and sort of MacGyvered my way into getting it to fit onto the big plane wave. So even though it's a little bit unorthodox, I managed to get it in and get it focused, so I can give you guys at least a casual live view of the moon. So I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen. And
Which camera are you using, Agapios?
I've got the Player One Saturn, which is the 533 BSI sensor,
3000 by 3000 pixel, 3.75 micron size pixels. It's a brilliant camera. I use it for the past year and a half. I've been using it for my planetary astrophotography, and it's been really brilliant. And I've also been using the cooled version at the remote observatory for regular deep sky work, and it's just an incredible and really versatile camera. So I've got that one hooked up to the plane wave now, and got it focused. And the moon is now what, maybe 15 degrees, not even 15 degrees above the horizon. And you can excuse a little bit of poor seeing at that altitude, but there's quite a lot of details in this live view. We've got the Plato crater. I can just about make maybe 1 or 2 craterlets at sometimes, and I can just pan around. I can just pan around with the joystick here, and just see if we can pick out some nice vistas on the moon. So I've got it focused pretty well, but I have to admit, I haven't had a chance to collimate the telescope yet. So that's coming soon. And soon as that is done, it definitely needs to be collimated. Once that is done, I should be able to use it for planetary imaging as well. We've got Saturn coming up in the dawn sky. The rings there are just almost directly aligned to us, and they're almost edge on. So that definitely is a sight to behold. And of course, Mars is coming up as well later in the year and early next year, and definitely that's something I want to pursue with this telescope. And just generally just getting it up to speed to be able to deliver to its fullest, which being up here, a 20-inch telescope under this kind of sky, it's a super weapon waiting to be utilized.
I'll tell you what, I have no complaints about the scene. Considering the size of the mirror, this is still ridiculously still. I mean, for us, so to speak. I know it's low in the horizon. I can imagine what it's like when it's 60 degrees above the horizon.
Yeah, it only gets better from here.
Yeah. Is this the same camera that you used last year when we imaged Saturn?
Most probably it is. Most probably it is.
Oh, and let's remind everybody that you will be back later in the year when Saturn or Jupiter. Which one?
Sorry. It's 8 degrees over the horizon, not 15.
Oh, 8. Wow. Agapios.
Don't hate me, guys.
Yeah, right. When were you planning on coming back for the planet? Did we want to do Saturn or Jupiter this year? Well, Jupiter is in opposition in December, isn't it?
Well, in any case, we can combine Saturn with Mars earlier, or if we let it go later in the year, we can do a trifecta, so we can do all three. It's really up to you guys. I'm down for anything.
Well, I just want to snag some data. I mean, the last time we got some really good images from the data that you provided us with.
Yeah, I think we can do Saturn and Mars in one go. Mars is currently, I think it's just shy of 7, maybe 8 arc seconds across. I'm still in planetary hibernation. I have to admit, I haven't really ventured anything this season yet because I've just been so busy with all these projects. But I think Mars is roughly 7, maybe 8 arc seconds across. So there is a chance to get at least some kind of surface detail on it, especially if we've got Syrtis Major facing us. It would definitely be observable. And Saturn,
being the most difficult and most challenging of all the planets, with its rings almost edge on, it will be a challenge. But I have great faith in this camera because I've seen just how sensitive it is. So I have no concerns there, provided the seeing gods agree, which often they do. We should be able to get some nice views.
Yeah, well, not to mention you'll have an enormous light bucket to capture.
Yeah, that too. That too. So yeah, it's actually quite steady, I have to say. It is.
Yeah, I can't
The telescope definitely needs to be collimated from what I can tell, but it's super still right now. And I'm kicking myself in the behind right now for not having collimated it ahead of time. But just haven't had much chance. You have to remember it's actually midnight here, and I'm on the top of the mountain, so it's not as easy as being at home with my own personal telescope and being able to do it any time. And actually, we haven't officially taken delivery of the observatory yet.
But you're there.
I'm here by my pestering to the custodian. But that should clear within the coming weeks, I hope. So that will not be a problem for our future endeavors. But yeah, being up here on the mountain, obviously as you can see, the atmosphere is quite stable, and even though we're inside a dome, you have to remember domes are inherently bad for high resolution imaging because of the chimney effect that they produce. So basically, domes act like huge exhausts. So all the warm air that's within the structure wants to escape from the dome aperture. So we're actually looking through all of the thermals that exist, at least in the dome room. So we're looking through all of that now, combined with any turbulence in the atmosphere. Just because it's a big dome. But the camera is extremely sensitive, extremely fast. So I have great faith in it being able to overcome all of this and provide just really, really sharp images. So let's try, since we're here, let's try and catch Plato and in the valley there with Sinus Iridium. Let's just try and get an uncollimated snapshot.
I don't think you're going to get any complaints from anybody about collimation. It looks fantastic.
Well, it's not where I want it to be, and I can be really picky about these things. Let me just get everything going here. Let's just get 1,000 frames. There we go. So we're shooting now at 42 frames per second. We're doing the full 3,000 by 3,000 sensor, just so we can catch, a lot of lunar real estate. So it's going to take some time for us to get to 1,000 frames. Yeah, if anybody has any commentary or questions regarding astrophotography or planetary imaging in general, I'd love to go through them whilst we're collecting some data here.
Well, the one question I would have, or maybe comment, with the size of the mirror there, what do you allow for cool down, or is there something that they installed in the observatory to try to help that?
So the actual telescope OTA has built-in cooling fans which are running right now. So it's got three, I think. So that really helps a lot in getting the mirror to equilibrate. And other than that, the main dome area here can be sealed off from the rest of the building. So there's individual access doors into the building which we can seal off, but I haven't done it because I'm on my own here, so I have to go down and close them. But we can close those off, and there's also, the room has its own climate control, so we can if we really want to, what we could do is pre-cool the dome to the outside temperature, so that when we open the dome, it's really close to ambient.
Oh, wow.
And the dome is also insulated. It's got rock wool and polystyrene sheets and everything in between the structure, so it's insulated. So you can pre-cool it to the near ambient, and it will hold that until you open the dome to actually use it.
So, wow, pretty interesting. Agapios, we were talking when you were gone about the temperature variation throughout the year where you're at there. Now, what's the coldest it gets in the wintertime? Is there ever snow up on that mountain?
So where I am here now at the observatory, it does snow. We do get some snow some days of the year. The coldest it gets, I have to get back to you on that, but I think on the remote observatory, which is on the other side of the mountain, we got down to -12 Celsius, and it can get up to mid-30s Celsius on the hottest days, but that's for 48,000 feet above sea level. Down at sea level at the main cities, the warmest we get is 45 degrees Celsius. That's the hottest days. And the coldest,
wow.
Yeah, and the coldest we get, at least where I live, I think the coldest I ever got was something like -2. But the whole mountain gets a lot of snow in the deep winter. It's a beautiful, beautiful landscape up here. You have to imagine an alpine forest landscape in the snow, and just a beautiful, clear night sky.
I thought I saw some ski hills on Google Maps.
Yeah. So the summit is peppered with ski slopes, and there's actually a ski federation here in Cyprus, and they do. I'm not well versed in anything ski related, but there's competitions and all kinds of things happening. So for that month or so where we get snow, it's a popular sport. But the cool thing about this island is that there's times where you can do both kinds of ski, water ski and snow ski, in the same day within the course of an hour or two. So you can be in Limassol enjoying your day at the beach at 8, 9 in the morning, 10 in the morning doing water sports, and you can drive an hour and a half and come up the summit and do ski and snowboard and whatever in the snow in the same day, and then go back and enjoy your local cuisine.
Seems like the perfect vacation spot there, Agapios.
Yep.
My wife's been itching for me to bring her out there.
Well, you have no excuse then, Lou.
Well,
you have no excuse, my
I'm
friend.
waiting for my health is a little bit on the edge here, so I'm waiting for my health to get better. But plus, you just can't go for a week because it takes you a week just to get over the jet lag.
Yeah.
We have to find time.
Yeah. Well, if anybody is willing and thinking about planning a visit, do let me know, and I'll be happy to show you around.
So we were also talking about that. I think we should get a cross club communication going so that we can get a few people together. Right now, I think there's 3 different astronomy clubs represented in this chat. So we can get some of us together to get fly over there.
Well, we would love to have you guys.
So you mentioned that you have another site that's a little darker. Do you suppose that that site would be better for deep space objects and rather than doing planetary?
So the remote observatory is on the western side of the mountain. We're actually on the southeastern side now. So the remote observatory is in a cut-off isolated valley. So it's completely dark. I can show you actually. I can just quickly go into. We've got an all-sky camera there, so I think I can just try and. Oh, I don't know why I can't do that. Oh, there we go. Okay, so let me try and log in and show you. Well, the moon is out, so it's not going to be very dark. But when it's close to new moon, it's pitch black there, and we've had this. We put together a remote observatory as a passion project to explore the concept of remote astrophotography from Cyprus, and we called it Spica. For the star, and yeah, that's the all-sky camera, and you can see that's live now. I don't know if you can you see it, guys, or are we still on?
We're only able to see your the moon right now.
Okay, sorry. Let me do that again.
Also, Agapios, when you get a moment, would you type in the address in the chat? Oh, there's the all-sky camera.
Yeah, and you can see it here.
The Milky
So
Way
that's
is
live. That's refreshing now live. These dark spots are probably bugs residing on the lens. But the moon is out, and you can see, the moon shining over and blocking out the Milky Way. But in dark nights, it looks something like that. It's absolutely pitch black. And we've had this remote observatory going for about a year now. And we've got research telescopes in there. We've got hobby telescopes in there. And we have our own subscription telescope, which we use to, for outreach and for people who want to get imaging data from the Cyprus night sky. And I think I can also actually log into the telescope now and see what it's doing. I think I left it on M13 just before we got into the chat. Let me just go in now and see what's going on. Yeah, there we go.
Okay, there it is.
Yeah, so that's live now from the remote observatory from Spiga, and this is our 10-inch RC doing 5-minute exposures on M13, and you can see guiding is actually really nice now. It's not an off-axis; it's a piggyback guide scope, and we're running Nina on it, which is brilliant, highly recommended. And let me just zoom in here, and you can see all the way down to the core. So this telescope is subscription based, so anybody can sign up to it and have access to all the data that it's been capturing. So far, it's built quite an excessive library because it's shooting every night. Again, I'm not exaggerating; it's the truth. It's been shooting every night since we installed it, and we've got subscribers from all over the world, locals and internationals, and And Lou actually did. I think Lou did. What was it? M1 that you did?
Yes.
Yeah, that was back in the beginning where things weren't actually completely ironed out. I highly recommend that you go back into the database and try some of the later sets that we did. We're also on Astrobin under Spica. You can find us there, or you can look for me, my name, and you
can see the propeller here. See?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
It's
pretty cool.
it's again, the remote observatory is a little bit higher than the National Observatory where I am now. It's 1,415 meters, which is closer to 6,000 something feet. So it's really high, really dark, and really steady. And we have hosted customers there. We've got people there with their telescopes, and we've got research telescopes in there. And it's just it's working like a Swiss watch, shooting every night, opens every night, automated. And it's just it's been a pure joy. Lots of challenges, of course, with getting that one up to speed, but it's been a blast, really, and it's been doing so well. Where we have plans to greatly expand it, because interest is just so overwhelming for remote astrophotography and remote hosting, as is with anywhere else in the world. And hopefully that's going to be keeping me busy over the course of the rest of the year and the next year. So yeah, hopefully really soon we're going to have a lot more room to host more telescopes in there. We're in full capacity now. Yeah, and that's I have two different telescopes running now, showing you just how good conditions are on a really average night. Again, I'm not exaggerating. I'm not trying to be over the top or rub it in your face. It's the truth. It is the truth. Cyprus is the astronomer's paradise, and I feel very fortunate that I live here and that I'm in a position where I can, share this wonderful gift with the locals and the international community, and as is the case tonight, being able to show you guys the beauty of the Cyprus night sky.
So, Agapios, what does it cost if somebody was interested in using the telescope for remote observing or remote photography? Do you have different rates when the moon's out, or
no? We've got a flat rate for the subscription telescope that we have now.
Okay.
The subscription telescope is a 10-inch RC running on a Celestron CGXL. You can see the guiding graph now. It's not on an off-axis guider. It's a regular piggyback guide scope, and it's doing brilliantly. And we've got that one at 19 euro per month, which is roughly $20 per month. And that is full access to everything that the telescope is doing. It's shooting every night. And if you subscribe, you get full access to everything that's been done from day one. So all the imaging data that's been done, I can go into the Astrobin and show you.
Oh, that's the entire library.
Yes, the whole thing.
That's a pretty good deal.
So this is just a sample of images that we've got on Astrobin with the 10-inch telescope. You can go here. It's Astrobin / or just look for my name, Agapios Elia, and you'll find it. It's Spica.
Type the website URL in the chat as well.
Yeah. I'll put everything in the chat in a bit. But again, I can also show you what other people have been doing from the site. So this is one of the hosted customers, and this guy had a 10-inch f4 Newtonian and a QHY 294, and I mean this is just a brilliant result on M51. Feel free to go in the Astrobin and pixel peep and enjoy the images. And you know, I'm being very honest when I say that I too think it's a really good deal the way we've got it set up, because you sign up, you pay a flat rate, and you get everything. You can request your targets upon signing up, so you can come in and say, I want this and this and this, and then we'll go into the schedule. The telescope is running on Nina, so it's fully automated. We set it up for you, so we agree framing and methodology with you before the telescope is meant to go and collect. And if for whatever reason it's not up to your liking, we redo it and redo it and redo it until it is. And we've never had to do that yet. So it's really well worth having a look at it. We're constantly improving that telescope to make sure it's giving the best detail possible, the best results possible. We started with a 294 sensor. We are now on the 533, and hopefully really soon we're gonna switch to a proper dedicated mono camera for much higher quality and resolution. But even with a one-shot color camera, the sky being as dark as it is and as high quality as it is, it's giving incredible results. I've done more astrophotography processing in the past 6 months than I've done in my whole life. So highly recommend that you have a look at it, and you know, just give it a try, and I'm sure you'll be pleasantly surprised.
So did I hear you say that some people actually go there themselves and shoot from there?
We've got the ability for people to do that. It's also we also have rooms there that people can spend the night if they want, and have the ability to take their own portable equipment and set it up there to take advantage of the sky. But mostly it's been used remotely. But yeah, you know, if you want, you can book a few nights and spend, you know, especially now in the summer, spend them at a beautiful location in a remote valley on the mountain, with nothing but the wildlife and the night sky, for your company. Highly
Mark,
recommend.
let's go, buddy.
Yeah, is it open 12 months out of the year? Because I mean, the nights are longer in the winter.
Yep. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
If you can take the cold in the winter, because it's you know, it's almost frozen over. But if you can take the cold, it's just beautiful. Winter nights are spectacular.
Yeah.
In the winter with those super long nights, it wasn't uncommon that we were doing 3 targets a night.
Yeah, right.
So yeah, highly recommend it, guys. Don't take my word for it. Do your own research, and you'll be very pleasantly surprised.
What's the roads like to get back in there?
Fully accessible.
Okay.
Fully accessible, as long as it's not snowed in.
Yes.
But you know, you can rent an SUV or a 4x4 and get up there, or we can make arrangements to get you up there. We've got a Jeep here, so we can haul you up there.
Okay.
No problem.
All right.
Mark, if we plan a trip, we're gonna go there for sure.
Yeah, it sounds like a blast.
You should bring your RV or your trailer with you.
Yeah, well, are you paying for the shipping?
No.
You don't really need an RV here. I mean, that's something that I've thought long and hard of, you know, getting an RV, but you just can't justify it here. I mean, the the longest route you can take would be 2.5, 3 hours tops.
Yeah, I'd hate to drive it up the mountain too.
So yeah, I don't know. There's camping spots. There's beautiful forest spots where you can park your car and spend the night. And it's I've been doing this for 20 years now on this island, and I wouldn't change it for anything. You can keep your Chile and your Outback and your South African, whatever. I just, the convenience of being an hour away from home is tough to beat. Even if skies are A minus or B plus plus or however you want to rate them, to me it's being able to get up there anytime you like, any time of the year, in an hour and a half tops is just incredible.
Okay, I'm actually on your website, Agapios. I'm on the links section.
Let me type them in the chat.
'Cause I don't see them on the links.
Yeah, so I'm typing in now the website for the remote observatory. And on that you can see the hosting, the subscription information, the all sky camera, everything is there. And I'm also going to copy the Astrobin profile, which is
Yeah,
it's in my name, but
if you put your name, it'll pop up.
yeah, but
Hey, and let me ask you too. Yeah, I noticed you have Damian Peach, the link for him. How does he come to Cyprus to image?
Well, he's been here. He's been here twice, 3 times, sorry, and 2 times I've joined up with him. Hasn't been here recently, but both times that he was here, one time we managed to shoot together. Managed to get really awesome images. If you go on his website, there's a section where he showcases all his missions and trips and everything, and you'll find Cyprus there. And you can see some incredible images. I mean the guy is the ultimate authority when it comes to planetary imaging. He's been my mentor ever since I discovered planetary imaging. And it's just a world-class guy, and he's got a fantastic resource. He's got his own Patreon where you can subscribe to, and he posts really regularly with lots and lots of information and tips and tricks and processing and data and everything. I highly recommend, if you want to get into planetary imaging, you look him up. Absolutely do that.
I don't think you're pretty close to your stuff is pretty close to his, I think.
No, not yet. I appreciate the compliment, buddy.
I know a lot of us look up to you in that manner. Which is why we're all here.
Well, it's been quite a journey, discovering planetary imaging and persevering through learning how to do collimation and how to do processing and how to put together a methodology and get everything going. It's been quite a journey, and I'm more than willing and very happy to share what I have found with everybody. I mean, I've already done quite a few tutorials and presentations online, which would be a really good starting point for anybody. But at any point, if anybody wants to reach out directly, I'm more than willing to correspond. I'll type in my personal email, and you can just go ahead and email me directly. I'm doing that now. and you can check out my outdated website for some past images. So that's my email address there. I just sent it in the chat. You can also check my personal website for some examples of planetary imaging. I like to, well, at least so far, I've stuck to modest apertures, and I like to think that I've come up with a methodology for producing the best possible results for any given night under average seeing conditions with modest equipment. So feel free to look up those tutorials, and I'm more than happy to discuss them with anybody interested.
So you were mentioning that this was the past 6 months, you just started to get into deep sky imaging.
Yeah, for the if you go to the Astrobin page, that represents about the past 6 months since we started running the subscription telescope.
So now
And in those, I mean, this is just a small sample. I mean, if you go in the telescope's library, I've lost count how many targets we've got there, completed sets, because it's running every night. So anybody can subscribe and request a target, and we'll be sure to, if it's in season, we would get it almost right away.
this is actually, your images are pretty impressive. I love the detail you got on IC434, the right below the horse head.
That is, those are mostly due to one of our subscribers, Prodromos, who is an excellent, very fluent user of PixInsight, which I am not, not yet at least. And as a testament to just how good the equipment and the data is, I mean, the images speak for themselves. There's some of them in there that I've personally done processing for, but I wouldn't call myself anything other than a junior deep sky astrophotographer. I mean, I'm just, I've only just really paid attention to it over the past 6 months which is when we started using the remote observatory, just because there's so much data to play with. But I am in no way, I can't even hold the candle to what some of the guys are doing on Speak Up.
Yeah, that's two completely different animals: planetary imaging and deep sky imaging.
Oh yeah. Well said. Completely different.
Yeah, I don't know the first thing about planetary, and I barely know anything about deep sky, but it's always a learning process,
Yeah. You can say that again.
That's half the fun is learning. When what else is left to do?
That's right. And I can tell you, the past few months with the remote observatory have been such a learning experience. I mean, just to give you an idea, I spent 3 months dealing with PhD 2. just making sure that I fully understood everything, and I did everything that somebody could do to a mount to get it to perform the way it should. And I'm happy to say that I managed to do that. But a point that I wanted to make is that, if you don't do if you don't have your own permanently installed observatory, or if you don't have a remote capability, there really is no way that you can get up to those really high quality, razor sharp images, because you have to consider remote astrophotography is the ideal scenario both for yourself as well as the telescope. The telescope is permanently installed under a much darker sky than what most of us have at home. There's no setting up, tearing down every night. Everything is optimized, fine-tuned. There's no other way that you can research, spikes in guiding, in declination or RA, if you cannot make sure that nothing's changed in the physical characteristics of the telescope. If you're setting up and tearing down every night, there's just no way you can be sure that something is due to, balance or gear mesh or settings or whatever. I mean, you're changing everything every night. So unless you're permanently installed, there's no other way that you can do this kind of thorough investigation and fully understand how your setup behaves. And that's what I've done over the winter. And I spent about 3 months looking into everything, studying logs night after night, trying settings, doing this, doing that, and managed to get the telescope to perform at somewhere around 0.5 arc seconds of combined error, which is really, really good for that kind of telescope, for that kind of mount, and for that kind of guiding. Again, if you're not permanently installed somewhere, ideally in a remote observatory with quality skies, I don't think there's any way you can really thoroughly understand what's going on with your setup.
Well said. Very well. I mean, it's anybody who's done imaging agrees with you there.
Yeah.
Very well said. What a treat, Agapios.
Well, and for me as well. This really has been a long time coming, and I'm very happy that I got to share it with you, show you what we've done, and again, I'm extending a warm invitation to everybody to consider traveling to Cyprus. Let me know first. I would love to show you around and share with you our beautiful, beautiful island in the flesh.
So I would like to, let's see if we can get something going on a mutual cooperative basis, maybe some kind of project for school students that we can, between the two observatories, or maybe not necessarily observatories. I'm sure you have local astronomers there that with their telescopes, and some just we can somehow create a network. We can all communicate, share our ideas.
Yeah,
I would
definitely. I would love to do that. Again, I speak for everybody on the team here when I say that we're more than happy to liaise and cooperate with not only the National Observatory here, but all the other projects that we've got going on in Cyprus. We would love to get together and do something mutually beneficial.
That would be awesome. If anybody has any ideas, just run them past Agapios, run them past me, or whoever, get together. I mean, this is a great opportunity for us to, collaborate.
Yeah, well said. Well
Not
said.
Not to mention, I want to see Agapios' gear as many times as possible. So the more we collaborate, the more we get a chance to see her through Cyprus, unless we actually physically go there, which is the next goal.
Well, I'm waiting for your call, man.
Well, Agapios, thank you very much for the tour.
Thank you, guys. Sorry if it was a bit rushed or a bit on the fly, but tried to give you a nice tour of the premises here and a quick look through the telescope. Pretty soon, everything should be fine-tuned, and we can perhaps repeat this and do some more live streaming and maybe even some planetary imaging through the 20-inch.
Okay, so before we
yeah.
let you go, I want to see, does anybody have any questions for Agapios? Now that we have them, a captive audience? No? Well, Agapios, thank you again.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, Lou.
And we'll talk about the next, we'll correspond with the next time we meet for, Saturn and, or Jupiter or whatever we're going to.
Absolutely. Thanks,
sometime
guys. It's been a pleasure, and feel free to correspond either through any of the websites or directly on my personal email. So enjoy the rest of your afternoon. It's almost 1 a.m. here, so gonna pack everything up and head down to civilization.
So how long is your drive home now? An hour and a half?
About an hour and a half.
Oh, thank you. Thanks for doing it for us, man.
No problem.
All right, you have a good
Bye,
evening
guys.
and be careful.
Bye-bye.
All right, bye now.